Is Spain being hypocritical when it claims that Britain has colonised Gibraltar, yet rejects Morocco's claims that Spain has colonised the two cities of Ceuta and Melilla in North Africa? So for context, Gibraltar became British territory in 1713 after the Treaty of Utrecht, when Spain lost the War of the Spanish Succession and ceded the territory to Britain. There is a lot of complexity with the treaty, and there are things that Spain claims that it did not sign up for. Nonetheless, for over 300 years, Britain has controlled Gibraltar, which is one of the most geopolitically strategic locations in the world, overseeing the Strait of Gibraltar, which connects the Atlantic to the Mediterranean Sea, and which is one of the busiest trade routes in the world. Also since then, Spain has continuously claimed it is Spanish, and this has formed a major part of their foreign policy, especially at the UN with the Decolonisation Committee. Now, as for Ceuta and Melilla, these are two cities in North Africa surrounded by Morocco, in which Morocco claims should be their territory. The two cities were conquered by the Iberian powers in the 15th century, they later became Spanish, and they have since remained Spanish territories. Now, the indigenous population of these two enclaves are the Amazigh people, and in Melilla they form part of the Rif tribe, which is the majority of northeast Morocco's population. Today, these Amazigh people make up the majority of the Muslim population living in Ceuta and Melilla as Spanish residents. Morocco claims that these are two colonial enclaves that have been purposefully inhabited and settled by Spaniards, and that Morocco has a claim historically and geographically to the land. Now, the two territories of Gibraltar and Ceuta and Melilla begin to complicate Spain's own claims to Gibraltar when critics start to highlight the complexities in their arguments when considering Spain's own control of Ceuta and Melilla. Now, Spain argues that Ceuta and Melilla are Spanish because the residents are Spanish citizens who desire to be a part of Spain. Now, Ceuta has never had a formal vote on its Spanish status, and this is because of the fact that it's treated as an integral part of the Spanish state, rather than an overseas territory, despite being on a different continent. But critics point out that the same argument can be applied to the case of Gibraltar. Whereas Ceuta did not have any formal vote, Gibraltar did have two referendums, one in 1967 and one in 2002, where the majority of residents voted overwhelmingly to be British. Another of Spain's arguments is that Gibraltar is a colonial remnant that is physically within Spain and therefore is part of Spain, and whose population has strategically been placed there by the UK. However, Spain rejects Morocco's similar arguments about the enclaves, claiming that they are not colonial, they are integral parts of the nation itself that were acquired before the modern state of Morocco existed. But critics then argue that if geography and historical conquest justify sovereignty, then the same logic should be applied to justify Britain's control of Gibraltar. So then how does Spain defend having Spanish territories on a completely different continent, whilst claiming that Gibraltar simply cannot be British? Is this then about historical treaties, self-determination, or just selective anti-colonialism?